Welcome everybody to the mid-tier, bang for the buck, cheap second-hand micro four thirds cameras, and this time we are talking about the second tier, or at least I like to call it that. In the previous video I have shown you the Lumix G1 and the Olympus EPL1, and now we shall be talking about the next level, the Lumix GF6 in comparison to the Olympus EPL3. Now I'm gonna try to keep it short and sweet, so let's just talk quickly about what they have to offer. In terms of specs, on paper, the Lumix GF6 seems to be the clear winner. It's a newer model, 2013 compared to 2011 for the EPL3. It has a higher resolution megapixel count, 16 versus 12. And it offers slightly better build quality. It's an all-metal construction. It offers higher video resolution, at least slightly, and it also sports Wi-Fi connection, and well, you can transfer photos and videos straight to your smartphone. The Olympus EPL3 does not offer that. Also, the Olympus is slightly cheaper built, plastic versus metal for the GF6. However, the Olympus EPL3 does offer in-body image stabilization, is slightly slimmer, and well, I do fancy the design a bit more compared to the GF6. So this promises to be an interesting video. Suffice it to say that both these cameras promise a low entry price into digital hobby photography. So I bashed the Olympus a bit for the build quality and the materials used, but actually it turns out that both these cameras are champions in their own right when it comes to fit and finish and, well, their top-notch ergonomics. So both of them are solid, rigid. They offer tilting screens, although the GF6 one is a bit more versatile compared to the EPL3. The GF6 does offer an additional step in terms of modularity and screen position compared to the Olympus EPL3. There is also the slight advantage of the Panasonic GF6 offering a built-in flash, though this function I suspect will not be as used as in 2026, as smartphones offer more competitive and better performing low light photography than these antiquated hobby cameras. Now, I have not tested the endurance of these cameras, but I have found that from my experience, battery life is actually sufficient in both of them if you are planning to do, I don't know, simple city breaks and small urban escapades, and well, even some nature shots as well with these petite compact cameras, meaning that you should easily get about 150 to 200 photos, flash excluded, if the battery is in good condition. Alas, build quality, pricing and construction are not relevant if these things do not perform according to our minimum expectations. Therefore, I shall be taking these little cameras out for a spin and try to get a few relevant shots and compare the photo and video performance of these two little cameras. Now, mind you, I am no expert, therefore I shall be using only intelligent auto mode for some standard conditions like a few nature shots, a few close-ups, low light conditions, high exposure, autofocus, and so on and so forth. And since I have a plentiful supply of Lumix 14 to 45 kit lenses as of today, I shall be using a pair of identical lenses in order to keep objectivity levels as high as possible. So without any further ado, let's get out there and see what these cameras can shoot. So I have been tinkering with these cameras for the better part of an hour now, and I think I can safely declare a winner. In terms of performance and, photography prowess, the Lumix GF6 outperforms the Olympus EPL3 in all of the categories. You can take any standard shots, outside or in, low light or high bright conditions, and somehow the Lumix GF6 produces more credible, more vivid and more symmetrical photos at the same time. You can see the advancements in photo processing power, but also in sensor qualities, pixel count, and so on. So the Lumix GF6 outperforms the Olympus EPL3 in all of the categories. You can clearly see a winner right here. The photos of the Lumix GF6 somehow seem more credible, more symmetrical, and at the same time the color rendering is more vivid and they just pop out. In terms of focusing and subject separation, there is no question the Lumix GF6 is a winner in both low light and bright condition. Overexposure is not such a big problem for the GF6. At the same time, Olympus, they sort of struggle with it. They produce okay results. The Olympus produces okay results, but the EPL3 is actually, it's not in the same category, at least to my mind. Now, in terms of autofocus performance, they both do okay. I didn't really see quite such a difference, and you can see the results side by side. To my mind, they are basically the same, although when you zoom in a bit, so meaning you crop out the photo to its actual size, sometimes the Olympus EPL3 shows too much noise, too little detail, and the photos don't really seem to provide enough fidelity. There I go, using that word again. And yes, I am certain that this is due to the sensor size and the pixel count inside each one of these cameras, but still the Olympus falls short in that category as well. To my mind, low light conditions were the most impressive category, where the GF6 outperformed by quite a high margin the Olympus EPL3. Now again, this shouldn't come as a surprise, but still, it's something that I noted, and to me it would be a big point to consider. Now, in terms of video, I know there's no real point in comparing these two cameras, since a run-of-the-mill smartphone in 2026 like this old S20 can outperform both these cameras in terms of video capability. Still, the GF6 again produced more credible, more consistent, more visually correct, less distorted imaging compared to the EPL3, which, although comes close in terms of resolution in detail, somehow produced a bit of a mess in terms of imaging video quality. However, this is not meant to be a bashing of the Olympus EPL3 or to discredit it in any way. I compare these two cameras not in terms of specs or market availability, but rather in terms of price. because even though these things are 2 years apart in terms of launch, these are actually on the second-hand market, they are at about the same price. Now, in terms of price, you can find these cameras anywhere from 60, if you're lucky, to about $150 on the second-hand market, depending on their condition, overall aesthetical aspect, and so on and so forth. Now, I was lucky enough to buy both these cameras for about 30 euros each, or $35 maximum, which I know is a huge win for me. But I got them at a lot, and it's not as easy as going 1, 2, 3 buying something for a fixed price. You need to hunt for deals, check auctions, risk a bit, buy on the lot, and so on and so forth. Now, luckily, I will be selling this GF6 for about 75 to 80 euros, which is not soon enough, since I have been gathering quite a lot of micro four thirds lenses and cameras over the past year, so I really need the cash inflow. I don't know, in lieu of a conclusion, I would say that both these cameras are worth it if you get them for the right price. To my mind, that would be about 50 to 80 euros maximum, depending on the condition and the packaging, whether they have all the accessories or not. This will be sort of an open-ended video. On the one hand, the Lumix GF6 is better built, sturdier, and offers great performance compared to the EPL3. Although the EPL3 has a few aces up its sleeve. It's more compact, it's, to my mind, a bit better designed, it offers the same build quality even though lower cost materials, ergonomics are top notch, but it does integrate the IBIS into the camera system. So then you really must take your pick. In terms of a conclusion, I would like to ask you what you personally think of these cameras. And, well, as always, remember that I hoard, buy and collect, though sometimes sell at a profit, weird and quirky obsolete tech stuff, like this duo of micro four thirds compact cameras, so you don't have to. Thank you for watching, and I shall see you in the next one. Bye bye!